you probably never had to deal with before. For example, like buying snow tires for your car, learning how to drive through the roundabouts, having the right clothing, how to take care of your house, things that you need to know. And that's what I want to talk to you about on this video. So let's get started. So concerning winter tires, it's not optional. You're going to spend $1,000 on tires every few years. I'll run my winter tires for 2 or 3 seasons. They could go longer probably. However, you know, it's with ice, that kind of thing, you're usually replacing them every several years. I just sold a used pair of snow tires to somebody. They're in great shape still. I'm going to be getting a new set this year, so that's normal. So that's something you need to kind of be budgeting for. And sometimes people will buy a second set of rims and have that on the snow tires. You could change those out yourself if you want to, or just pull into Les Schwab's and they'll do it for you at no charge. So that's one of the services that they do provide. You know, you need to be thinking about things like winter clothing. You're going to need warm clothing here in the winter. It's going to be cold. It'll be in the 30s. It'll be below 30 at times. It will be sunny most of the time, but you're going to just need the right jackets, the right boots, gloves, that type of thing. And if, you know, I'm saying this because I do have clients coming from like Southern California. They've just never had to think about these things before. And if you're not budgeting for it and planning, it can be a burden. And I think part of being comfortable and happy in Central Oregon is about having the right gear, the right equipment, the right vehicle. And so I like to bring these things up. Sometimes they get overlooked. So vehicle, I highly recommend an all-wheel drive vehicle. Currently, we have only all-wheel drive vehicles or four-wheel drive vehicles. And I have a Toyota 4Runner and a Palisade that both have all-wheel drive capabilities. So you're gonna really want that. A rear-wheel drive vehicle here, you will not be able to drive year-round. Front-wheel drive, possibly, but for safety, if you can, plan on an all-wheel drive vehicle, and you'll be a lot safer, and you'll be able to get around no problem with snow tires. So that's the thing. Some people have asked me, will I need a snowblower? Now, I grew up in the Sierras in the snow where we had 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 feet of snow. Never had a snowblower, just did a lot of shoveling snow. It's not my favorite thing. And now at 55 years old, I have a snowblower, yes. And once you've had a snowblower, there's no going back. However, if you have a small driveway, it just doesn't make sense to store a snowblower, the cost of a machine, maintenance, it just doesn't matter. Like, you probably could just shovel a small driveway by hand, or consider an electric snowblower for a smaller job. Now, my driveway is almost 1/4 of a mile long, and I have the largest snowblower that a person can buy. But, you know, that's a $3,000 machine. You can go to Home Depot and you can pick up one of these electric ones that are great for your walkways and great for your small driveway. So keep that in mind. Winterizing your house, probably in November, very shortly, we will be winterizing our irrigation in our yards. So those will all the water gets blown out of your irrigation system. And all your landscapers pretty much know how to do this. It's a common thing. If you live in a neighborhood, there will be people going through the neighborhood offering to blow out your system for, you know, $25 or something, $50. That's something that has to happen, or you will damage your in-ground irrigation systems. The other thing that you're going to be doing that you probably don't do if you're from a warmer place is you're going to be putting these insulation blocks in the ventilation ducts that are in your stem wall foundation. If you're not familiar with this, there's these little ventilation openings on your foundation. You leave those open in the summertime. They have a mesh screen on them so that rodents can't get through. In the wintertime, you can go to any hardware store and get these white foam blocks that fit right in there, and that keeps the cold air out of underneath the house where your plumbing is at. Most of the homes in Central Oregon have a 3.5 or 4 foot stem wall foundation. So all of your piping and your HVAC is underneath the house. So we want to restrict the ventilation underneath the house during the winter for the most part. Maybe you could have one undone for a little bit of air, but mostly you want to close those things up. So that's a thing. We talked briefly about winter driving. It's something that there are classes that are offered, different online companies. I just saw one the other day. You can take classes, the DMV, different groups will offer driving classes. You know, if you have any friends that live in Bend, you know, oftentimes just to drive around with them, you know, in preparation on that first storm. If you've never driven in ice, there are some things really that you need to know, but the overall generalized thing that you need to know is give yourself a lot more time to go wherever you're going. Drive slowly, and stopping is the thing. You know, it's can you stop? And I won't go too deep into it, but just want you to know, like driving slower, everybody's slowed down in the wintertime and are, you know, just being careful not to slide into somebody. It's not going to be fast driving in the winter, it's going to be slow. A lot of caution, and if you have the right equipment and the right tires, you should have no problems. When we see trouble in the winter, it's typically people with a rental car or somebody that just doesn't have the right tires on their vehicle. And that's dangerous. That's really a dangerous scenario. People come over from Portland or Eugene and they just don't have the winter equipment and they're trying to go up to Mount Bachelor and they end up sliding off the road or into somebody. That's what we're trying to avoid. So budgeting for the extra winter gear. Also, you know, if you're going to be skiing, for example, we used to always buy a family pass when the kids were younger, and we could buy, back in the day, a family season pass at Bachelor for $1,500. And then you have the gear on top of that. You have skis, boots, jackets, you know, the right vehicles to get back and forth. However, if you want to go to Bachelor in the wintertime and you don't want to drive and avoid that, you can get on the shuttle buses that'll drive back and forth from Bend up to the resort. I don't know, they'll run every 20 minutes or something. So my daughters have done that for years and years. It's a good option to have. It's safe. You can put your kids on that bus. They're going to be safe, and you just don't have to deal with driving in the snowy conditions in the wintertime, and you want to hit the mountains. So keep that in mind. Probably more I can say, but I just want to put that thought out there, like start thinking about the additional cost of living in a four-season location like Bend, Oregon. We're in fall right now, and I've already, if you saw my last couple of videos, I'm talking about the fall seasons. It's so beautiful, but very soon we're going to be in our winter season, and I hope that you can come and visit in the winter. I highly recommend that you do before you buy a home here. If you've never lived in cold weather, come and check it out in January, February, March. We're going to be in the winter and see what it's like. It's completely different than our summer, fall season. So if you've been here in the summertime, it's nothing like that. It's cold, it's snowy. It's not for everybody. In fact, I think it's the only reason I've ever known anyone to pack up and leave Bend, because of the winter conditions. They were unprepared. So hopefully that's helpful. Might be common sense for some of you, but others that haven't had any experience in cold weather locations, I hope it's good information that you'll take into consideration. And if you have any questions, I want you to reach out to me. You can always call me on my cell phone. Go to MrBendOregon.com. My contact information is there. Like and subscribe if you enjoy my YouTube content. I'm trying to bring relevant information about Central Oregon and the real estate market here in Bend, Oregon. Paul Frazier, hope you have a great day. God bless. Take care.